Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. It's that time of the week again, live both on Facebook and Instagram. So, looking back and forth between my cameras for sure. I'm really excited about the topic today. It's been up in my world and percolating here today, especially in multiple places. Um, but overall in general too. And so what I want to talk about today is being you. And I want to talk about this because this term is so cliche, right? People use it all the time. Just be you, do you, boo. Like be you, right? Like, and for any of you out there who you resonate with that and you're also simultaneously like, what does that mean? Like, what does it even mean to be you? You're not alone. It's okay. I remember being there once too. And the good news and the bad news about being you is you're not this fixed thing, right? Like, who are you really? If you really take a moment to think about it, who are you? Really? Like, really, who are you? What are you made of? Science coming up again. I love to talk about it. You're comprised of atoms and molecules. You are energy. What do we know about energy? It cannot be created or destroyed, and it is always moving to form, through form, and out of form. Your cells are regenerating in your body every single day. The body you woke up with today is not the same body you had yesterday. So, guess what? The identity that you have for you being you, that's not you. Sorry. The good news, though, is that you don't ever have to stay stuck or trapped by who or what you thought or even are thinking right now you're supposed to be. You can create yourself every single day, every second, every millisecond, every nanosecond of every single day as a brand new being, a brand new force in the world, right? So, since you are not actually this finite thing that maybe you have defined yourself as, define yourself by what society says you're supposed to be. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, I'm a business owner, I'm a banker, I'm this, I'm that, I'm tall, I'm short. Like none of that's you. None of that's you. And it is all control this whole notion of identity and like being you, it is all controlled by judgment. And judgment, as powerful and confusing and invasive and nasty as it is, and we judge ourselves more than anyone else ever could, right? It's the biggest form of control and manipulation on the planet. It's the greatest form of abuse on the planet, really. Judgment. It's not real. No matter how real it feels, no matter how real it seems, judgment is not real. So, if you can create beyond the fantasy and the illusion of the judgments of what and who you think you are and who you are not, there you may actually find the real being called you. And even then, that's still not you because you can create yourself as a new thing every single nanosecond. I'm not sure if there's anything smaller than nanoseconds. Does anybody know if there's anything smaller than nanoseconds? I'll have to Google that and look that up because my geeky brain is very curious about those things. But you get the point, right? So every nanosecond of every day, you get to be this new being. So, whoever you thought you were even 5 minutes ago, you're not stuck being that. Now, there may be parts and pieces of you and ways of being that you have that you really love. Keep them and ask them to grow and expand. Because if there's one thing that is constant, it's change. And the thing that judgment does is really tries to keep everything the same inside of this like predictable, reliable, definable box. And that's where we torture ourselves. That's where we kill everything, every possibility of everything we could, anything we could ever become, anything we could ever choose to be. Like that feeling you got inside, like you just know you were here and you were meant for something more. And you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. Like you wouldn't be aware of it if it wasn't real for you. So it's totally possible, right? Like because you're aware of it. Totally possible. And you know what? I just realized my headset thing is not plugged in here. So I hope the people on Facebook can actually hear me. If you can't, I'm sorry. I will re-upload with the Instagram one later. Sorry about that. I just realized I didn't plug it in. It's hiding in my ear over here. That happens sometimes. Um, but yeah, there's so much that our human brains cannot even comprehend about what is possible, about what is available, about what we can actually choose, about what reality actually even is. Like, what is real? So, like, I, for one, question everything I think all the time, not from doubt, right? Because that's just another way to perpetuate judgment and perpetuate fear. Not from that. No, I'm talking about like from childlike curiosity, 5-year-old on the playground. Like, if I do this, what's this going to create? If I put this over here, like, what's going to show up? Like, totally curious. It's like, okay, that thought just came through my head. Is that true? Like, is it? Like, is it really? And sometimes I have to have like strong talks with myself, right? I'm very big on acknowledging what is. If you've seen any of my lives or followed me for any length of time, you know that I'm very big on not pretending that what is isn't, right? And even in acknowledging what is, that doesn't actually mean it's true. That doesn't actually mean it's real. It just means this is the evidence of what's showing up in front of me right now. So I might be really frustrated. Okay, let me acknowledge I'm frustrated. Okay, now what's underneath that? What is that really? Am I actually? And like maybe because I responded one way when I was frustrated last time, that doesn't mean I have to respond that same way the next time, right? Sometimes we get ourselves stuck in these ruts and these patterns because we think, oh, I'm always 5 minutes late. So, that's just what I do. I'm always late. And then we start to take on that identity as if it is our reality and as if it is who we really are. No, you may have taken on something habitually, right? But it doesn't mean that's who you are. I don't care if you've done it for the last 50 years of your life. You can choose to stop right now, right this second, because your choice trumps everything. I don't care what anyone says. You always have a choice, and your choice will trump anything that is showing up in your life. So you could have been choosing that same thing over and over and over again for the last 50 years and get to that point where you're like, you know what? I'm not choosing that anymore. This doesn't work for me. You don't have to get upset about it. You don't have to like reject it, like, oh, it's so bad. I can't believe I've been doing that. Like, I'm so wrong. Now I need to choose this other thing. No, because what you actually do when you do that, that's again judgment, right? You judge yourself and then choking on my spit here. Sorry. You judge yourself and then you lock that into place so that you're stuck recreating that thing again because it's like a magnet, right? Opposites attract. So you're refusing it, you're trying to push it away, and it's like, oh no, come closer. I'll show you this is who you really are. We do that to ourselves. It's sneaky. So the trick is to like get out of judgment, right? And allow yourself to just choose. Just choose. not from wrongness, not from even deciding that choosing the new thing, the new space, the new way of being is better. That's a judgment too. It's that curious, childlike 5-year-old on the playground, like, kind of like an experiment. If I choose this, what's that going to create for my life? If I choose to be like this, I wonder what'll show up. Play with it, have fun. When we get stuck in the judgment and we get stuck in no choice universe, or we get stuck in choosing from judgment, that continues to perpetuate the fantasy of the illusion of who am I being, right? I'm this identity, I'm that identity, I'm this job title, I'm this role. None of that is you. None of it. None of it. If that's not the way the universe works, if that's not the way nature works, the atoms and the molecules changing all the time, you're part of it. That's not the way you work either, right? So being you, if you choose, can become this like exciting, wondrous adventure every single moment of every day. And so, what I want to invite you to today is some really cool tools that have changed my life in more ways than I could ever possibly explain or imagine, right? And they come from a body of work called Access Consciousness. And their tagline is empowering you to know that you know. Not that I know, not that anyone else knows, that you know, right? So it's reminding you of like what's true for you and who are you and who do you get to create yourself as. And it's really cool because you choose the tools in the toolbox that you would like to have and you take what works and you leave what doesn't. And when I first stumbled across these tools, I grew up really religious, and I always joke that like the religion I grew up in, if you sneeze wrong, you're going to hell. Like it's a joke, but kind of true at the same time. Right. And so lots of judgment and lots of fear. So there was a lot for me to like work myself out of. So the first year I discovered these tools, all I did was listen to this book by Dr. Dane Heer, who's one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness, called Being You, Changing the World. So listen, I got it on audio format from audible.com. So you can go there and get the book. And it's his voice reading it. And it's not like one of those books that you read and you're like, this isn't doing anything, right? No, like the tools are actually being used in the book while he's reading it. So without you even having to do anything, things are starting to change for you. So I've listened to that book probably hundreds of times at this point, and I haven't listened to it in years actually. And I was just recently interviewed on a podcast and we were talking about like how I got started playing with these tools and it came up again. And so this morning actually, I started listening to the book again. And it was like I was listening to a brand new book, even though like I can, listening to it hundreds of times, probably recite a lot of it verbatim. But again, it's that childlike curiosity, right? So anytime we decide we know something, like I already know that, it shuts your brain off. You're not able to actually receive more. So if you approach everything in your life, even the things you think you know, including you think you know who you are, including you. If you approach everything in your life with that sense of curiosity and that sense of play, it opens things up, right? For you to actually receive what's there and for you to actually receive from a new perspective and a new lens with the being you are right here, right now in this moment. So if you've never read that book, and even if you have, like, because it's in hardback form too, never listen to it, even if you have, my invitation for you is to like go get it back out. There's this thing coming up on Sunday. It's International Being You Day. Last year was the very first International Being You Day. And the second one is coming up this Sunday, the 22nd. So they're going to be streaming things live on Dr. Dane's YouTube channel and all that for International Being You Day. But like, what if being you is not confined to one day of the year? And what if being you is not confined to whoever you already think you are right now? What if none of that matters? And what if like everything you thought being you was is has nothing to do with actually being you, right? Who would you like to create yourself as right now? And if you'd like some facilitation around this to really look at it and dive into it deeper, because I know it kind of can seem like sort of abstract, right? Like, what does that mean? How do I even figure out what being you is? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you sound like you're talking about like a bunch of gibberish right now, like, and I know it can kind of seem like that, just like it was for me when I started to like tap back into my energetic awareness, the tingles on my body, like the sensations, like, oh, what does that mean? The chills up my spine. Like, what's my body's information system telling me about what's going on for me internally and what's going on in the world around me? That was super foreign to me when I first started looking at it again, like super foreign. I'm like, what do you mean? This is crazy. My body doesn't have consciousness. Like, it's like exercising a muscle, right? If you haven't gone to the gym in a long time, you're not going to go like run 5 miles on the treadmill and try to lift 50-pound weights. It's not going to work, right? You got to kind of like give yourself some grace and keep choosing and keep choosing and keep choosing. And then over time, that muscle gets stronger, right? So that's like with learning anything new or bringing anything new into your space, including creating who you're being, right? That's with everything all the time. And so, if you'd like some facilitation around that, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I am offering 60% off all of my sessions in person and online for in person hands on energetic sessions, facilitation, also facilitation and coaching online. So, if you're watching me on Instagram, I'm getting close to the end, so if you missed it, go back and watch it again. It'll get posted here in a second as soon as I'm done. But if you're watching me on Instagram, just go to the link in my bio. You're going to use the coupon code MH2022. I'll put that here in the chat too on Facebook when you go to checkout. And hello, beautiful. And you just use that code and receive 60% off sessions through the end of May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Like, I know sometimes things are tough, and sometimes it's just nice to have someone else's perspective. And sometimes it's nice to know that you're not alone, right? And so, if you would like to have a session with me, if you've been waiting to have a session with me, now's the time because it's 60% off through the end of the month for Mental Health Awareness Month. So, I am so grateful you joined me here today. I will see you again next week.